Hello, Dr. Patki.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
no problem. This is,
Okay.
and it's beautiful because it still lets us connect. You were talking about the patient who comes and actually has,
Yeah, so she comes every birthday of mine because I celebrate the birthday with her daughter.
and when,
And for the last 14, 16 years, she's coming down. And today, in fact, just before I joined in your program, I had a WhatsApp message from one of my patients from Jakarta. Her daughter's 13 years today, and she has sent me a picture of her daughter saying, "This is the girl, this beautiful girl that you helped me bring into this world."
oh,
And I'd left hopes and I'd come to Mumbai because she had a relative staying here. And she said, I came only because my relative insisted I come to Mumbai for treatment. And I went back with such a beautiful gift. So I was touched because she's got in touch with me after almost 10 years.
my God,
So I feel, that's what keeps us going. These countless blessings that we get and these notes of encouragement that we get. I think that takes off all the tiredness that we have when we stay up all night and deliver somebody in the early hours of the day.
absolutely. Dr. Patki, do you remember the first time, the first baby that you ever brought into this world?
Yes, probably in Sion Hospital because that was where I got trained. So that must have been some baby born around 25, 28 years back. But the first baby that I brought into this world as my own practice or independently is around 22 years old. And in fact, just before the lockdown, she came and she gave me an invitation for her engagement. And I felt, oh my God, I've become so old because now if you're 22, that means I've become that many years old. And she was supposed to have a wedding end of this year, but obviously with this COVID, I'm sure they must have postponed it. But I was touched because she said that my parents, even to this day, tell me that this is the person who first saw you. So you are supposed to go and the first invitation for your engagement has to go to this person. So before I go and I give formal invitation to any of my relatives or friends, I wanted to come and meet you. So I felt really, really touched, and
Wow.
I felt, I'm really blessed to have such people around.
Okay, am I frozen? Okay. Is Dr. Patki still around? Dr. Patki? So, I wanted to ask you, uh, this is a little awkward question. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Doc-
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
So, the little awkward question is when a man goes around bringing babies into the world like that, does something change within him? Uh, you know,
Yeah, go on.
with his own connection with his partner. Does he feel ever, oh my God, I'm going to hurt her, or I'm going to be? I mean, does anything change around intimacy issues? Because as a doctor, you are basically doing the work of bringing this world, seeing so much of pain and then joy altogether. So does that impact in any whichever way? I think we'll be just, I always call this the energy block.
Hello, sorry, I missed. I got
No,
disconnected. I don't know why my Wi-Fi is playing up.
that
Can you ask the question
course,
again?
of course. Uh, so the question is that when you are as a gynecologist, as an infertility specialist, you also see women going through labor pains, and you also see women, seeing them in joy, seeing them in that pain, seeing them the pain when they don't have children. Does that impact does that impact you as with your wife in any whichever way around intimacy issues? Does that impact you in any way? is what my question is.
Really, as a doctor, I think we all are trained to empathize with the patient. I think we have to connect with them, but at the same time, we have to learn to disconnect. We can't afford to take all the joys and sorrows at home, not even the joys and not even the sorrows. I think we have to leave them back in our workplace, because we have our own joys and sorrows, because we are also human. So we have our own share of issues and difficulties and problems. So as a fertility specialist, I I thank God for having my children so easily. Frankly, that's the only thing. I thank my wife and God, saying thank God we didn't have to literally, we planned and it happened so fast that we ourselves were shocked how fast it happened. But I've seen couples struggle, and sometimes, and I not sometimes, I believe that there is something like a superpower. I believe there is something called as destiny. And often that's what I tell couples, that no, you and I have to try our best, because come 10-15 years down the line, you should not feel that you didn't try enough. And that is the reason that you can say that, okay, I tried. And sometimes I tell them that I'll be the first person to tell you to stop and close the chapter, because everything should happen at its right time and right age and everything. So there's no point just pursuing one thing in life. I think sometimes you have to just give up, move on in life, and say maybe I was not destined to have my own child. There are various options in life, and maybe I have to look at those options, or be content that okay, fine, I'm not going to have a child. I'd rather enjoy my life and spend that money and time on myself, rather than being a bitter person at the end. So after, I mean, I counsel my patients, and as we all know that fertility is not something which is 100% going to work for each and every one. So there are some couples in whom failures happen, and we counsel them and we tell them that, do you think you want to try again, or you think you have done enough? Because there is no magic number, how many times you try or how often do you try, till what age you try, because each couple has to decide how they want to have the child and how many times they want to try, because it also depends on what, how much they keenly desire. But I think every couple has to be positive. I've had couples where I thought that they would not make it, but they have made it because they were very positive. And I've had couples where I thought everything was going so fantastic, but they didn't conceive because they were very, very pessimistic and negative. So I think the positivity in the couple or in the woman or in the couple makes all the difference, because I think that really sometimes works on your hormones. If you long for something, I truly believe you get it.
Wow.
Not only for this, but for many other things in life. I think if you earnestly try and you long for it, at least in my case, I've always got it. Maybe after a struggle, but I've always got things if I've longed for it.
Wow, that's such a beautiful message for all of us. If you long for something, don't give up on it, because
Yeah.
you are going to get it.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Dr. Patki, do you believe in God?
Yes. A lot.
Have you met him?
Yes. I meet him in every patient that I see. I see God in every child I deliver. I think that is I mean, when some couple comes to me for help to conceive, I think it is God's way of testing me, testing my knowledge, testing my skills. I see, I mean, I believe in some supreme power. I pray at least twice a day. I may not be religious. I may not do some big pujas and havans. I don't fast. But I believe in God, and I believe that there is some supreme power which governs all of us. You can give it whatever name you want, you can give it whatever form you want, but I think we all are governed. I think we all come with our own destiny, I think we all are brought here to play some part in this life. And I think we all have got something positive to contribute. So I feel that I see God in my work. I'm very passionate about my work, and sometimes my wife and my children tell me, you can't think beyond your work, which is a fact sometimes, that I just sometimes can't think beyond, because I think that gives me that inner joy, happiness, and everything that I long for.
Yeah, it looks to me, or it sounds to me like you can't look beyond life, because your
Yes.
work is about bringing life into this
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
And how more beautiful can that get? So, Dr. Patki, have you ever, in your before you met your wife, have you ever fallen in love?
I fall in love every day. I think love is a very, uh, it takes different forms. I think a person can love many people equally.
Yes.
I think your relation with your parents, with your children, with your wife, with your subordinates, I think all that is also love. I love my work. I love my patients. So I've fallen in love multiple times, and I still go on falling in love every day. So frankly, but yeah, the expressions are different, of course. But I think I truly believe that, that there is a saying, no, if you love something, let it fly off, and if it comes back, it is true. I really believe in that. I feel that I do my part and I leave it. I then don't think whether, if that person has not reciprocated, if that person has not given back in equal terms, if that person has been bitter to me. I just feel that I thought this was right, this was ethical, and this was what I was supposed to do. So I play my part and I'll then leave. I forget about it. Uh, in most of my relations, I don't expect much. So I'm very happy when things happen.
Wow. Wow. I am at loss of words. I'm hearing you and I'm feeling blessed. And I'm feeling that the miracle is happening right now. And the miracle that's happening right now is that I don't see you anymore just as a doctor. I see you as a human being. And I see you also as a very beautiful, vulnerable human being who love, who's ready to adapt, who's ready to show his scars, rightfully, completely there. So, Dr. Patki, last question. And we spoke about this yesterday, and you said, yes, Anu, I've felt miracles in my life. Could you tell the audience a few miracles that you probably felt in this COVID time, and maybe in this past 50 odd years of your life?
I think there are lots of miracles happening all around us. Frankly, I think it is our inability to see them, to be very honest. I distinctly remember, when we were medical students, we used to have these exams which happened every 6 months. And then after a year and a half, we used to have the main exam happening. So after every 6 months, we had a group of 10 friends. And one of the friends owned a bungalow in Lonavala. So we had decided from the first year that how badly or how good you did in the exam, it didn't matter. But when the exam got over on Saturday afternoon, we would all run off to this bungalow in Lonavala. One, because it was free for us to go there. We just had to pay for the travel. And at that time, that mattered the most to us, that kidhar fukat vacation milega. And then leave Monday early morning and come back. For some reason, I couldn't join my friends when they, outside Sion Hospital, there's an ST bus stop. So we used to just take one ST, and that used to drop us at Lonavala, and then we used to walk down to this bungalow. So I had to leave much later, and I reached very late to this friend's bungalow. And this was the only second time I was going to this bungalow. So I did not know the location very well, and especially in the dark, it becomes very difficult. In those days, there was no mobile, and I didn't have a torch. I was virtually relying on the road street lights, which are not there in Lonavala at that time. So I was walking on this deserted road. It was around 10:30, 11 in the night. All my friends must have reached at 5:36. And I told them I'll come either very late or I'll come the next day morning. I'm not sure when I finish the work. So here I was walking at 10:30 in the night, and I was shit scared because I was so scared I couldn't see even 100 meters ahead. It was so dark. So I was taking a guess of how the road was going along. And then suddenly out of the blue, I have a man on the scooter who comes from behind and asks me where I'm going. And I tell him the name of the bungalow, and he says, "Oh, I know where this bungalow is. I am 4 bungalows ahead of this bungalow, so I'll drop you." So I hop onto the scooter, and after 10 minutes, he drops me outside the bungalow and he goes into the darkness. I come home and tell my friends, I was so lucky, others I would be walking for another half an hour on this road and probably would have missed the house and got lost. And I don't know how I would have found myself to come into this house. And we all laughed, joked, and we sleep. The next day morning, I wanted to go and take a morning walk. So I go out of the house and I find that ours is the second last bungalow. There is no fourth bungalow ahead of us. There's a steep valley.
Oh my God.
So I don't know who that person was. I do not want to call him a ghost because ghost is associated with something very scary. So he was one of those friendly ghosts, if you have to call him a ghost. And the next bungalow to us was completely vacant and nobody was staying there.
Wow.
Ahead of that was a steep valley, but I distinctly remember that scooter going ahead. So I think, I don't know, somebody came to help me to find this place and dropped me and went off. And I've got lots of instances like this in my life where miracles have happened. And when I go back and I reflect and I find that, wow, how come this happened? This has never happened before.
Can you quote another one?
When I was in UK, I went on a interview. I was not even selected for the job. I got a letter on Monday saying that my interview was on the following Monday. And in 1 week, this is going back 25 years back, I had to go and take my visa, buy a plane ticket. At that time, we didn't have a big bag enough also to put my clothes to go to UK. So buy the bag. And then on Friday night, I left and I went to UK for this job, which I was supposed to interview was on Monday. When I reach on Monday at this interview, I find that they had, by some reason, not noticed that my address was from India. They thought I was staying in UK and had applied from UK. And actually, a friend of mine had applied on my behalf, but they missed to see that my address was from Mumbai. So that was against the medical counsel that you could call somebody from a foreign country without him actually passing your exam. So on the ground that they made a mistake, they gave me a job because I was fit for the job only because I was not staying in that country. I'd come on a different visa. And the hospital appointed a lawyer to get the visa things sorted out. And instead of me apologizing to them 100 times that, because you can't have your friends apply for you, you have to apply for yourself. They profusely apologized, saying that it was their error that they made me pay for my air ticket and come to UK for an interview when they had not read my application, which clearly said I had not done my exams. But my qualifications and my experience was good. So they wrote to the medical council saying that he will pass his exams in London. So I must have been the only person to do the exam sitting in London, because it was an exam for foreign graduates, which is to be done outside London.
Wow.
Miracles, these things don't happen very often, and I think I'm the only one. I don't think it has happened ever, because I think after that they must be reading each and every application in detail to make sure that they don't make up this fufa again.
Wow.
I mean, I'm blessed in life. I think I'm very lucky. I get things what I want. And here I had friends who had done the exams and who were not shortlisted for the exam, for the interview. And here I had not even done the exams, but I was shortlisted.
That's what they say, when something, there are no accidents in this world.
So I was destined to get that job.
You were destined to be where you are right now.
Yes.
Is there anything you would like to say to the audience before, I could go on talking with you the whole night, to be really honest?
I think all our lives are blessed, to be very honest. I think we all have our own share of problems, ups and downs. But I think that is what human mankind is. And I tell all my patients that mankind has survived for so many thousands of years. So we don't have to get scared of this COVID or this corona and such things. I think we are quite strong to circumvent it, or to conquer it and to defeat it. I think instead of trying to defeat it, I think we should accept it. We should accept that there is some illness like this which has come into this world. Because I remember 30 years back when HIV was discovered, it gave a similar type of fear in all doctors, in all healthcare, that you did not know who had that HIV. And if you touched an HIV patient, you thought you got HIV. Now nobody even bothers. We test patients, we take precautions, but it is nothing that it's life and death. HIV patients live with treatment for many years, a healthy life. So I think COVID is going to join that gang where we will not learn to conquer it. I think it's too early to say that, because we have not still managed to conquer HIV. I don't think we should look at conquering something. I think we should look at accepting it. And that is, I think, a better expression. Accept it, take care that you don't get inflicted. And how do you take care? I think your health is the most important thing. We have to stay healthy. We have to look after ourselves, our diet, our food, our exercise, our hygiene levels. I think one thing that COVID has taught India is hygiene, hand washing. And I pray and I hope all of us continue to do that. People say that rest of the illnesses have become less in COVID. It's not because of COVID, it's because of the amount of hygiene that we are using. And I really hope and pray that if we continue this hygiene, half the illnesses will go out of India. So I
Wow.
think that is something that COVID has taught us, hygiene. So I really hope and I really want all of y'all to pass this message to everybody, that hand washing, hygiene is the most important thing for your health.
Thank you so much, Dr. Patki. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. It's all
Thank you so much.
to you. Today was unusual. I actually felt that I saw God, and I felt very, very blessed. Thank you again.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And thank you to all the listeners. Sorry, I've not been able to interact with you on a one-to-one basis, but my best wishes to all of you. And thank you to Binay for allowing me to have a peep in my future. Thanks.
I would love you to write a book, Dr. Patki. I hope you are writing one on your experiences and miracles, because these are the things that get remain behind forever, ever, and ever. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And you all have an excellent weekend. Take care of yourselves and take care of your family. Bye.
Bye.
Good night.